Hey everybody, nice to see ya. It's been a long time since I've played XCOM 2. A long time. January 4th, 2020 was the last XCOM 2 video that was published. That's a year and a half ago. And every time that there's been a downtime in release schedules of other games, I'm like, maybe we should just do another XCOM 2 run. But then I keep thinking there was like game announcements and stuff, and I keep sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for XCOM 3 to be announced, and it just isn't happening. So here we go. We're gonna run another one. I'm not gonna get into all of the mods that we're gonna be running. There are gonna be some very substantial mods that we are going to run, but I'm gonna keep those a surprise for the launch. What today's video is going to cover is character submissions or soldier submissions. The mods that I'm going to ask you to install and run for your character submissions so that you have the same cosmetics that I do, plus one of the class mods that we're going to be running. So, as with previous seasons, if you are a Patreon of the correct tier, then you're going to get guaranteed access to the character pool. What I mean by that is if you link your Patreon to Discord and you post it in the Patreon submissions, the soldier that you post there is going to be in the character pool 100%. Then what we do is, based on how many Patreons are in there, we take a certain percentage of that and take regular submissions as well. In my experience, over the past many seasons that we've done this, the vast majority of regular soldiers that people submit do make it into the pool. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to write the biographies, make your characters look awesome, and just like give them that little bit of flair, that little bit of pizzazz that makes them unique. This is my favorite thing about XCOM 2, is seeing all the soldiers being submitted. It's phenomenal. So that being said, a couple of things I really want you to take away from this video. Number one, down below, there's going to be a link to my cosmetics list. Go there, subscribe to all of those items. There's a ton of them. We added a lot of cosmetics for this run. And make sure that they're fully downloaded, fully installed. And sometimes if you're doing a fresh install of XCOM 2, you got to run the game once, get to the menu, quit, run the game again, and that will then load all of your mods. Make sure that you select them. I'll have links to the community mod launcher down below as well. I highly recommend using that. It's very easy to see at a glance what's working and what's not. I'm sure 99% of you guys are very familiar with how to do that, but I'm going to put the instructions down below as well. Now, when you are creating a character, here's one thing I want you to pay attention to. In the past, we've done this both ways over the course of the past few campaigns. Usually I'll just ask you to submit your soldier as a rookie so that they can be any class. And that's totally cool. I would recommend doing it that way, but I know some people really have a preference to be a specific type of soldier, and that's cool too. So one of the mods that we're running this year is called Use My Class, and we're running that in conjunction with Choose My Class. The way that this is going to work is that when a soldier is promoted, well, I'm going to be presented with two options. The first option is going to be that soldier's preferred class. So whatever you set in here, let's say you want to be an assault infantry. When you submit this, that is going to be the first option that pops up in the game when a character or a soldier is promoted. There will be a second option that the game is randomly picking from available classes to present to me in case we get in a situation where like everybody's picking assault infantry and I'm like, we have no medics, and the game randomly presents me with a field medic. I'm going to be like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and pick a field medic for this class so that the barracks doesn't get overloaded with one thing. But I feel like in almost all scenarios, if you choose a class, you'll probably get that class, okay? Now this brings me to my second point. When you're choosing your soldier type, you can submit a regular soldier, you can submit skirmishers, reapers, templars, and sparks. That's all fine. You can pick any of these, no problem at all. We've also made it so that we can have up to 3 skirmishers, 3 reapers, 3 templars within the barracks, and there'll be a lot of room for people if you want to pick these classes, which is totally fine. We're using some spark mods to make them a lot more effective. And if you're thinking, well, 3 of each faction soldiers is quite a bit, I'm not revealing it to you yet, but there is a big mod that we're going to be running this year that is changing the game significantly. There's a couple of things people have been asking me to do for a long time. Long War has been one of them. Long War of the Chosen. All of these things. There's some mods that are borrowing very cool mechanics from Long War that aren't just going to extend the game to be 200 episodes, okay? That's all I'm going to say on that front, but just know that we will need a lot of soldiers. We will be using a lot more soldiers than normal, okay? Now, when you are picking a soldier class, this is the reason I'm asking you to download one of the class mods. It's called Proficiency Classes. We used it in the last season. It's phenomenal. It's been updated to work with all of the hero faction classes, and a lot of the abilities have been reworked and tweaked to be even better. It's amazing. Shire's done an amazing job with this mod. It's probably one of my favorites out there. However, when you install this, you're still going to have these base game classes, okay? Ranger, Sharpshooter, Grenadier, Specialist, and Psi Operative. Now, do not pick these. Do not pick those. If you pick those, when we're doing our manual review of your soldier submission, we are going to change these to its next closest equivalent in the proficiency classes. The proficiency classes are Assault Infantry, Field Medic, Marines, Marksmen, Sappers, and Tech Specialists. There's 6 classes in here. Ignore the Commander class. That'll be a little bit of a surprise. The reason we want you to pick these is because these are the only classes that are going to show up in the game. If you pick the others, we're going to just reassign it to these. So please just pick from one of these 6. Now, you might be wondering, well, how come, what about the PsyOps? What about the PsyOps? Good question. What about the PsyOps? Well, here's the problem with Psi Operatives as they stand currently. In all of my campaigns, we basically don't make a PsyOps until much later in the campaign. And when we do, they just basically sit in training week after week, getting stronger and stronger and stronger until they become this mind-controlling powerhouse that we take out on the final mission. And they dominate. And, like, that's cool, but it's also kind of boring. So, I'm not going to tell you exactly the specifics, but we're going to be running a mod that will allow regular soldiers to run Psi amps and gain some Psi abilities. They're not going to be as strong, but more people will be able to dabble in Psi abilities where we see fit. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to tell you. I don't want to go too much more into that because it's really cool. It's really, really good. Yeah, I'm super pumped. So, please, if you're submitting a soldier, submit as a rookie. That's totally cool. You'll be randomly assigned one of these 6 classes. If you want a specific one, choose Assault Infantry, Field Medic, Marine, Marksman, Sapper, Tech Specialist. Don't pick anything else. And again, you can pick the base soldier type as a Skirmisher, Reaper, Templar, Spark. There will be lots of opportunities to become those, and that's super cool as well. Okay? Hopefully that's clear. Now, before I get into how to actually submit, you can also, if you want to submit like a scientist or a dark VIP, you can do this too. We are running a mod that will show your full customized character as a scientist instead of just being replaced by a lab coat. So that's nice too. We'll have a little bit more personality on the base. And if you want to submit these are usually not selected very frequently. But if you want to just have a higher chance of at least just showing up in the game, this is a great option if you don't care about being a soldier or what have you. Typically, too, we have a lot of people that will submit to be a soldier and want to do character diaries and stuff that we then pull together into a large pool. We pull excerpts from to share during the campaign. And you can do that. You can also do that as a VIP. You can also do that as a dark VIP. We don't have any really heavy rules around that stuff. We just want you to be creative. And if you want to write journal entries and things like that, that's great. We'll hook you up on the Discord of where to go and where to submit those. So just something to keep in mind when you're creating your character. Now, how do you submit these? As usual, we're doing this on Discord. It's the cleanest way that I've been able to come up with to do this. And it's the easiest way for us to track it. There's going to be 2 different channels that you're going to notice under the Xcom section on Discord. There's a Patreon soldier submissions channel, and there's a regular soldier submissions channel. If you're in the tier of Patreon that lets you submit a custom soldier and get guaranteed access into the character pool, just make sure that your Patreon is linked with your Discord, and then you'll have access to that channel. If you want to submit just a regular character, don't want to go through Patreon, 100% cool. We get a ton of submissions from non-Patreons as well. And as I said earlier, many of them show up. So please don't be discouraged if you're not a Patreon. Anybody can get in. Even Patreons, once they're in the pool, they're not guaranteed to show up. So just something to keep in mind. So what you're going to do is go to either the soldier submissions or the Patreon soldier submissions section under the XCOM 2021 heading and read through the pinned rules. There's like 11 rules, I think, about how to submit your character, what we're looking for. Make sure you're not submitting like a direct clone of a character from The Simpsons or anything that would be like heavily trademarked. You can take inspiration, but try to be creative and do something unique. That wouldn't be considered a direct rip from something else. We have had some of these slips through in the past. I'm human. I don't know every aspect of pop culture out there, but yeah, if you can try to just keep it original, that would be amazing. Also, when you're submitting your character, we need the bin file, obviously, and if you can, just do a quick screenshot in the same post as when you're submitting the character bin file, because then when we review it, we can make sure that everything has loaded correctly. If there's any fine tuning we need to add, we can do that, and just to make sure your character comes in as clean and cool as possible. There are, as I mentioned, we've added a ton of mods, like a lot. If you want to just quickly watch me scan through some of these, like, it's crazy. We've added stuff from Destiny. We've added stuff from Half-Life. We've added stuff from Killzone. Just have fun with this. There's a lot of stuff you can do. And if you see stuff that's like clipping through like this, there will be another option in here that addresses that, and you can fix it to your liking. You go and everything is customizable. There's basically no holding back. A lot of amazing options and a lot of amazing work by a lot of amazing modders. So take your time, build your character, and get it submitted. I'm going to be starting within the next week. The earlier you submit, obviously, the better chances you have to get into the pool, because when I launch the campaign, I'm going to go with the pool that we have. We will continue adding to that pool, probably until about, I'm going to guess, 30 or 40 episodes in. The last campaign, the playlist was 80 episodes, but I think there was like 75 or 76 parts, 76 missions. So usually about halfway through the campaign, we stop accepting soldier submissions, but you have just as good a chance as getting in as everybody else. So I hope that you guys are ready to rock and roll. I'm excited to share with you the full mod list soon, but I'm going to do that when the campaign launches. And that's about it. So in quick summary, download the cosmetic list below. That's important. Download it, play around, make a character that looks awesome, come up with a cool backstory. And again, you know what? My favorite soldier submissions are the backstories that are kind of like normal, if that makes sense. Like, not everybody has to be abducted by aliens in the middle of the night, taken to another planet, and then returning with glowing eyes. You know what I mean? It's cool if you want to be that guy. 100% cool to have those. But It's also cool to come up with a backstory where... I don't want to give you any ideas. I don't want to influence you too much, but you don't have to go as crazy as you might think. And if it's your first time submitting a character and you're like, it seems really intimidating coming up with this backstory and all this, don't be intimidated. Don't be intimidated. Just come up with, just be yourself. Write a character as yourself. And like, why are you here? Why are you coming to XCOM? Simple. Totally up to you. Do your thing. I'm excited to have you. So download the mods, write a backstory, make sure your character looks cool and you're happy with the way like everything looks. If there's any weird clipping like this, just go through all of these different parts here and you're going to be able to fix something that looks awesome and that doesn't have any issues. There's so many different mods in the cosmetics list. If you can't find something, I'd be shocked. And then follow the rules to submit your character on Discord. If you have any questions, people are very helpful on the Discord, and I'll try to answer your questions as well. One thing that comes up every campaign is, I don't have the game, can I submit a soldier? Yes. People on Discord are willing to work with you, to build your soldier, to write the bio with you, to help you come up with ideas. Everyone's willing to help. So rock and roll. Let's do this. We're going to have an awesome campaign. I can't wait to share with you all the mods that we're running. They're game changers, man. Like, totally changing the game. I'm super pumped. One thing that was recommended to me a lot that I did not choose, because you notice we were picking those proficiency classes again, those 6 of them. People were recommending RPGO, which is basically a class mod that you can go wild. The classes pick from so many different abilities. In my opinion, it just got a little bit too overwhelming, and there'd be so much variety that would be kind of unwieldy. So that's why I've stuck with the proficiency classes. I had an amazing time with them when we ran them in the first place, and with some of the updates and things, woof. I'm pumped. I'm super pumped. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was clear. If there's any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I will answer them, okay? I will get to you as soon as I can. And hopefully this was clear, and I hope you're excited for a new campaign coming very soon. Guys, see you out there.